Alright, so up to now we have seen pretty much everything that we need to know to set up our online store. We have actually seen how to sign up for a free online store with Magento Go. Then we have actually seen how to add some products to our online store, how to set up some payment options, and then we have actually added a bit personality to our online store. So basically we are ready to start earning some money and selling some products. But one more thing that I would probably do before I do that is actually I would customize my URL. Now this is totally optional and you do not have to do it, but currently the URL address of our online store is bgcomputers.gostorego.com. This is something that's provided by Magento Go. So basically what I would like to do is get rid of this Go Store Go, so I can make it easier for my customers to actually find me. Now to do that we will have to add a custom URL, and in this video tutorial we are going to do just that. Now there are a couple of steps that you have to follow in order to set up a custom URL address. Firstly, you would have to register a domain. Now this should probably be done before you actually start building your site. So once everything is done, once your site, your online store has been actually built, you can easily link it to your custom domain. So I would strongly suggest, if you wish to purchase a custom domain, a custom URL, you do that before you actually start building your online store. Alright, once you have actually purchased your domain from a domain register such as Godaddy or any other, you will come back here and you would type in that custom URL. The third step would actually require you to go back to where you have actually registered your domain name and enter some DNS information. The last step in this custom URL configuration would actually be to come back here and activate your domain, activate your custom URL. If you ever get stuck somewhere and need some help, you can always go and click on this custom URL link here. This will actually provide you a bit more information what exactly custom URL or domain name is. If you need to find more information, you can click on this link here, Knowledge Database, and that will open a new window where you will actually find all the required information that will actually guide you through step by step in actually adding a custom domain to your online site. So once again, if you ever get stuck, come back to the knowledge base. Information step by step is provided on actually how to set up a custom URL. Alright, so let's get started. Let's assume that we have registered a domain name, so the first step is already done, and here we have to now enter that custom URL. Now your screen might look a bit different than mine because I have already registered a custom URL, so you probably have a link here that says add. When you click on that link, you would get this text box where you will actually type in your custom URL. So the custom URL I have purchased is www.bgcomputers.net. Alright, once I've done that, I will hit on the save button. Alright, now my custom URL has been saved and this is it, www.bgcomputers.net. Now here Magento Go will give you some information on the actual DNS settings, and that is actually this IP address here. So basically what this is, every time your customer types in this address, this URL, they'll be actually pointed to this particular IP address. So basically you have registered your custom domain, custom URL, so for example with Godaddy, and that URL is actually bgcomputers.net, and now what you need to do is actually link it back to bgcomputers.gostorego.com. Now to do that, you will have to make sure that bgcomputers.net actually points to this address here. So once again, www.bgcomputers.net has to point to this address, IP address here, which is actually the IP address of your online store, which is actually bgcomputers.gostorego.com. Alright, so to do that, if you go and read through the steps required in here, you'll come to step 2, and here you'll find some information on actually what is required of you to do. So basically you will have to configure your domain with Godaddy or any other domain registers for that matter. All of these steps should be very similar on all of the domain registers. So basically what you have to do once you have logged back into your account, you would go and navigate to domains, my account, and then domain management. Once you're in domain management, you will select the domain and then click manage domain. There you will find DNS management section and you would open it. In the zone file editor page, you will click add record. Then when prompted, you would actually select type record. Now for GoDaddy, this is called a host. For some other domain register, it might be just called a record. Anyway, what you have to do is you have to find the IP address and actually type the IP address that you have been provided with right here. So this is the IP address that you will have to type into your settings for the DNS record, and that record has to be a host or a record. Once you've done with that, you will have to click on OK or save or something like that. Once you've done with that, you will come back here and now you have to actually activate your custom URL. That's quite easy to do, and what you have to do is actually you have to click on manage store. You'll open up the dashboard like this, which we have seen before. You would go to systems and then to configuration. Once the page actually loads up, on the left hand side you'll find the link called web, and under web you'll find URL options, active domain, and actual default pages. You do not have to change any of this except for the active domain. By the default, the active domain is bgcomputers.go.com. So basically this is what your customers have to type in the address bar to access your online store at the moment. However, if you change this active domain to actually bgcomputers.net, so this is the custom URL that you have registered with a domain register such as GoDaddy, and you have actually linked it to your online store. So now when you click on your active domain, when you set it to bgcomputers.net and actually hit on save config, all your customers have to do in order to access your online store is actually type this address here, and actually then they will be redirected to bgcomputers.gostore.com using this IP address. So adding a custom URL with Magento Go is really easy. Basically there are just 4 steps you have to follow. Once again, you have to register a custom domain, then you would have to enter that custom domain in here with information provided, this IP address. You would have to go back to your domain registers, so basically where you have registered your domain, and you would have to set up something that's called a register or a host within the DNS configuration. Once that is done, you will come back here and then you would go and just activate your domain. So basically that's how you would get your own custom URL domain to have your Magento Go online store.